Awesome.
So this meeting is preparing to live stream on the YouTube. It should be live in a moment. So now.
I think just close that.
This meeting is preparing to live stream on the YouTube. It should be live in a moment.
Yeah, turn the volume down on the laptop.
Why you say up, it just has to be, you just close the YouTube window. I just thought you pulled that out. There you go. It'll still stream, just. Package.
So I'm waiting to see if, Stephen, what's his name, signs in from the solar farm. But yes, we'll see if he does, right? But didn't you just think? No, I didn't take, I shut the Thanks. I thought I did, well, to the best of my ability, I did.
Alright, should be, they're all.
No, they,
Yeah, they were coming out, that's cool.
You want me to wait till that's going, or are we good?
we can start, this is. He just texted and said he didn't get the link, but I'm sending it to the town website to find it.
Okay.
Should be on the town website.
All right, so I will call the meeting to order at 6:10.
Second.
Over last week's, last meeting minutes.
There's two because, we had a late start last time and because one of you was remotely.
Yeah.
We didn't, so we need to do approved minutes of June 24th and July 11th.
Okay.
Which you should have both of those in front of you.
Yeah, I get a motion to move past the meeting minutes of June 24th.
Second.
All those in favor?
You should also have July 11th meeting minutes.
And then July 11th. I was remote on that one. I want to strike something from those meeting minutes if we could.
Yep.
Under the solar application. Putting, I will hate to call it false hope, but
Oh,
planning board
yeah,
could
yeah, yeah.
potentially
Yep,
be approved under the space limitations. I'd like to remove that.
yep. Well, that was the new ordinance information shared by applicant.
Okay,
That is west. Got it. Okay,
I motion to pass the meeting minutes of July 11th.
Okay.
All those in favor?
okay, yeah.
Okay. On to today. Hello.
Since the Canelo application he hasn't joined the meeting yet.
Yep.
To this point.
We'll skip that one for now and we will move down.
Here's the application. In email, and I don't know if you guys that. If it's on its own.
So I have a question with the road application. I know we were talking about shoreline zoning. What's the distance from the high water mark, again, that you can't do anything with? So that,
And I meant to copy that map that's in that application is bigger. It's on the wall in the town office. The one you were
Is
looking
it
for.
clearer than it is in the ordinance?
I believe that that's the original drawing.
Yeah, in the ordinance, you can't even tell where the lake is.
Tom, could we get a copy of the agendas?
Sure.
Agenda?
today,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, yeah. it's just that.
I think the answer to Tom's questions in 15H1 on page 23.
Yep.
think he might be trying to. In the waiting room, Steve. You want a copy of that? Sure. Hours, it obviously didn't show up the last 300 old business from highlighted.
That's it.
Yes. Let me pull that up. What,
Page 23 under roads and driveways.
okay,
So it reads, roads and driveways shall be set back at least 100 feet horizontal distance from the normal high water line of a great pond or a river,
that flows through a great pond, 75 feet horizontal distance from the normal high water line of other water bodies, tributary streams, or the upland edge of a wetland, unless no reasonable alternative exists as determined by the planning board.
Okay. So I have a question then.
Yep.
If this is 100 feet. Is it any greater than 100 feet from the high water line? From where it's going to terminate? Does it even pertain to that?
So the road, the railroad bed into which this driveway is going to connect.
Is it going to the railroad bed?
Yeah, no, I interrupted Diane, but I did revise the proposal.
Yep.
Okay,
Initially, I proposed connecting to the railroad bed. Trying to find a happy medium that can address some of the concerns for erosion being that close to the lake, so the new proposal is to terminate more than 100 feet from the water.
okay.
Allegedly.
Stay outside that 100 foot buffer.
I wonder what
And
your
the
small parking area, I saw the small parking area. I'm
So
like,
that's greater than 100 feet, so that's on the. Middle of that first page is my
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
up, but proximity to the lake is greater than 100 feet from the high water line.
Okay,
So that resolves some of the permit by rule and being within that 100 foot buffer and.
Okay.
That concern.
so do. Do we need to, does he even need to get DEP or shore or any of this?
I
I
think-
think it needs planning board approval based on the next page under 4. I'm assuming this is resource protection.
Page 4 of
Page 24, sorry,
24, hold on.
bullet 4. Diane, were you able to confirm on the map on the wall if this is resource protection district?
I think anything that's that close to the lake.
Yes, that's not the way the ordinance defines it. The ordinance is pretty specific on.
I think the lot, well, the last time I looked at the drawing, hold on. I did not look at, I was gonna do that, but I was busy making other copies, that drawing.
Yeah, the only reason this would need approval is if it's in the resource protection district.
No, I don't.
Please join. We're on our meeting minutes from last week as a possible candidate.
Can't keep up with what I have now. I don't know how you guys do this.
Fine now.
Yeah. It's funny, in my job, I'm on that side of the table.
Mhm.
With the requirements for BNW, so they come to me with, yeah, hey, can we do this, can I do this, so. I'm used to sitting on this side of the table.
Mhm.
I hate to say, I don't even think we need to be looking at shoreline zoning.
Well, I think we have to look at it just because it's so close to the lake, even if it's coming in 100 feet back, there's just so much visibility and so much scrutiny.
Right.
On the runoff, and we've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to prevent runoff into the lake, and so I just think it's prudent, because people are gonna file complaints and questions, so it's prudent to have said, hey, we've looked at it. The road's driveway is gonna terminate more than 100, or at least 100 feet back from the edge of the water.
Mhm.
Here's the plan for putting in road grading equipment. I mean, the code enforcement officer said he still wants to see an engineered road. And I sent him the latest thing.
That is bigger.
I did see that, the only, I don't disagree with you with that, but if everything is without side of shoreline zoning.
250. For resource protection. So I think, no, it doesn't require a permit based on that side of this, that's if that's the map. This whole side of the lake is showing resource protection district, that's the side.
Okay.
Yeah, so resource protection district is there, so that would be that. No. That section.
Okay.
I think may grant a permit to construct a road driveway for access.
Oh,
Okay.
I think that's what fall under.
Okay, thank you. Wish we had a bigger. Doesn't work. Can't zoom in.
I know, right?
You know what, take that-
Have you seen the map that's in
Yeah.
That's way better.
Right.
Well, and that's old. I mean, we got
That's
updated,
94.
we got other updated maps that show like waterfowl protection areas and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, but that did not come in the updated map packet that we got from the state. But we should get an updated one.
The page you were just showing.
Yep.
On that, what page number was that?
Page 24 of the document.
Page 24,
Yeah.
to make sure I'm in the right one. Yeah, shoreline zoning, June 14th, 2018,
No, the June 2021.
and I'm not looking at the right one. I don't think we have the, I don't have it in the drive then.
Is it 2021? So that's when you're looking at?
But that was 2018.
There's a shoreline zone folder. There should be an SLZ folder. I don't know if it's in either one of those.
I'm in the SLZ folder.
There should be another folder marked shoreline zone. And if it's not there, looking at them.
Keep.
So this section lists. Just gonna go through the checklist here. Roads and driveways on slopes greater than 20%, which I believe this is not a greater than 20% grade. We're saying it's gonna be 9% average grade. New permanent roads are not allowed within a shoreline zone along significant river segments, that doesn't apply. New roads and driveways are prohibited in a resource protection district, except that the planning board may grant a permit to construct a road or driveway to provide access to permitted uses within the district. A road or driveway may also be approved by the planning board in a resource protection district upon a finding that no reasonable alternative route or location is available outside the district. When a road or driveway is permitted in a resource protection district, the road or driveway shall be set back as far as practical from the normal high water line of a water body, a tributary stream, or upland edge of the wetland. So no road and driveway banks shall be no steeper than a slope of 2 horizontal to 1 vertical, graded and stabilized according with provisions for erosion and sedimentation control. Road and driveway grade is no greater than 10%, except for limited segments less than 200 feet. I'm just doing this for Don, who may not have a copy, right? In order to prevent road and driveway surface drainage from directly entering water bodies, tributary streams, or wetlands, roads and driveways shall be designed, constructed, and maintained to empty into an unscarified buffer strip of at least 50 feet plus 2 times the average slope in width between the outflow point of the ditch. Going the wrong direction. Am I- I seem to have 2 copies of there. 24. But missing a whole section. You want to read that bottom page, 24 under page 12, oh, here we go, I'm sorry,
Number
I picked up a section, page 25,
24, section 7. Is
Yeah.
where you were, and then you go, okay.
right, I just got the wrong
Yes.
page.
Says right here.
So surface drainage, which is directed into an unscarified buffer strip, shall be diffused or spread out to promote infiltration of the runoff and to minimize channelized flow of the drainage through the buffer strip. So part of the problem is that backside of that hill already has a problem that there's constant water running down it and it fills up the ditch, blows over the road, goes straight into the lake. There is some culverts already on that road.
There is, yeah.
But the road almost, see standing water, there's almost always standing water.
There is down by the gate, down by Paul's.
Yeah, right, and
But
heavy
on this
rains.
end, it doesn't, that ditch is huge.
Right, and heavy rains, that goes over the edge. I know that Sean is, the water district is worried just because there's so much runoff on the backside of that hill already.
Yep.
They were trying to figure out how to stop that. And I know his concern is like, oh my God, we're gonna put a flipping road down. It's gonna make more.
Yeah, I mean,
More-
with proper ditches and diverting the water,
Yep.
it's there are sections that can absorb it, there really
Mhm.
shouldn't be any difference going into the lake. That the pictures that I included in the file show that buffer strip, I mean, that
Right.
ditch is 75 feet wide, 300 feet long, 10 feet deep, it's huge.
Right. Yeah, I've been there in the spring when that's standing water too. But
I know we got an email from the CEO, hold on a second, let me grab that, we literally got it this afternoon.
You don't have CEO.
Scott Mills, we tagged him in on it, because he's been filling in temporarily, helping us with stuff.
So temporary building.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh my God.
he was worried that it wasn't an engineer design.
Yep, no, I understand that, but I didn't
Right.
take any requirement for that in any of the ordinances. And honestly, I'm not sure what we'd be looking for an engineer design, the best management practice that it show, you know, how to construct the road, the ditches and everything else, and that's what the drawings would show.
Now, we talked before about a DEP permit by rule. I don't,
I think I don't need that.
Because you're 100 feet back.
Use the road, but
yeah,
Good job.
That's why.
well,
there's
it was
some
closer
movement.
earlier. When it was closer earlier, we're like, oh, yeah, we need that. Oh, now I'm gonna set it back further.
I mean, I do not want to cause any erosion that we're offering, if we go into the lake, but. I won't do it right. But I also want to make sure that we're just following the rules that we have and not adding additional requirements.
Yeah, would you be open to having, there's a gentleman named Jeff Stern who sits on the Lake Association board. He was the, non-point source pollution expert who helped us with our watershed grants and all the work we've done on the waterhead, just having him walk through that with you and take a look at it and just
I mean,
give us comments.
I'm willing to take his input, does it need
Yeah.
to wait for his input for an approval if we're at the point of that's all we're waiting for?
I don't think so. I'm just thinking that somebody who's helping
I'm
monitor the progress.
Certainly willing to
That's
talk it over with him and you can send him the file and I'd love to see it. That's just somebody that does this for a living, may have thought of something that I haven't yet, but.
The protected resource area, how far into that is this piece of land?
The resource protection,
Is it a
The
I know it's
land.
hard to tell off
it's
that
two
map.
fifty based on,
250, it's
Okay.
250.
so it'll be 150 feet, you know, straight line distance.
Okay.
Away from the lake. The actual distance of the road in that area is about 300 feet. It's hard to measure that exact straight line.
So I know that you addressed the question that we had before about, other people who go down that, get access to their properties down that road, all come down the water road,
Yep,
the existing road.
Yep.
Like, why is that not a satisfactory approach?
yep, so I included that in the need for the road, so that is a great, you know, friendly neighbor alternative right now, but it's not a legal right of license.
It
So
could be.
I would love for it to be. If the planning board can arrange legal right of way for me to come down the road, but help with the application, because that would save a pile of time and money. But that would be a legal right of way across the town property, the Moisans, Broasses. All the way down through.
Yeah.
So I don't imagine they would be willing to write off that right away, especially for the Moisans, considering the road goes right through the middle of the campsite.
I don't know, but I think we should ask.
I'm willing to work in parallel if.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm probably not gonna start this until fall, if we can, if you get some indication that they're willing to sign off on legal right away. That'll save me thousands of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
Question for you, Tom.
Yeah.
In reality, though, any of that has nothing to do with his application, though, does it?
No,
I mean, from what I can see and from what he said and what the shoreline zoning thing is, there's nothing that stops him from getting approval.
the
Well,
only
it's
thing
no
is,
reasonable alternate route. That's the question.
But it's his land and he's right, technically, that other land is owned by other people.
Right.
So what stops him from putting an access across his own land?
Well, he's not, he's putting access across Max's
They're
land
not.
with a right of way.
Right,
So you
but
could put it across everybody else's land with a right of way. I'm just saying there's a potential there that might save you a lot of time about it.
Generally, people want to get paid to give up a right of way to them, because they're forever giving up that access to their land.
right,
and essentially, what would hurt granting him? And then if that opportunity comes up before he starts building.
Right.
Great, he saves like thousands of dollars.
I mean, at the last meeting, we granted him a conditional permit based on some more additional information. So we're already going down that route. That's not a problem.
I would love for that to happen in parallel, if it works out, then great, that's something, at least we got through the permit piece.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you're going through their land in front of, there's nothing that has to be done, right? You just need permission to drive on the railroad bed to go through their property?
It would be, I need a deeded legal right of way,
Right, but I mean, you're not gonna be doing any type of.
the roads already exist.
Yeah, everything exists.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the giving up the legal right of way piece that I think would be a hurdle. They're basically giving up control of their land. Is what they would be doing.
But does the water district already go through there?
No, the water district.
He's going there, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's on
he's-
the other
he's
side.
way on the end.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
so the water, okay, all right, okay.
Yeah,
I've never been down that road, so I have no
I
idea.
don't know how that would work with town property.
It's on
So
town,
there is no town property. in there.
Who owns that?
water district. is
The water
separate
district.
entity.
Yeah, so can the water district
They've
give
got
up the
their-
legal right of way? to
they-
them?
Haven't they already for the, I'm not,
I don't know,
that's what, yeah,
not
I
me
either.
specifically, but
Yeah, I don't, cause this can't be on there, so I'm assuming.
there is, but
Believe they could-
no, none of those. So as far as camps go beyond that, I want to do a title search on the deeds all the way back to when the railroad turned the property back over to landowners.
They could do
Just
that,
the land.
but let's
So
say.
right now, it's
someone
just water district
between
getting
his
that,
property
they get open and
and
getting
Yeah.
up
the Water
here.
district sells,
Whoever run the water
it
district.
needs to be in his deed that. he
Whatever.
has right away.
Take the law.
That's what he's
Been
saying.
down that road before.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
everything goes from.
That's why I said to me,
My driveway is not.
They're doing something on your own.
It's on Wells
It's a
Road,
cleaner approach,
So-
unless there is legal.
technically
Because I get.
about 4 feet of my driveway is.
It'd be interesting if they're gonna sell that property to us.
So when we
See what happens.
bought the house, we made sure that our neighbors gave us.
The water
deeded
district
right away.
Possible. They said that they would sell it
House.
if they,
Okay.
big if they build a
Piece of
new.
land and put it-
Oh, well, I think it's
Putting well into somewhere else and just.
Okay, so it's not that they're giving up.
Make a great house.
They're just giving him legal right to get to his property.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't see the big deal, but.
Well, the water district can be sometimes particular. I had to go to ask for right to our property because we're head of the water district. They did it, but they gave me a hard time. They didn't make it legal, but they wrote in the meeting minutes in a document saying, we voted to give you this right away.
Right.
We granted this right away. But
How many pieces of property would you have to walk through or drive through to get to
Water
yours?
district. more
no,
songs
the
were
Ray property, water
Right.
district,
Or, right?
yeah, Morrison, Emily and Mac.
Yeah.
They're 5.
And now you're affecting their deeds on all of their properties, which now needs to all be re-registered. So that you gain deeded access, so if one of those 4 or 5 people sell, they don't just put a fence up.
Correct, it would have to be
So,
deeded access to
yeah.
it.
Would you
Okay.
be willing to pay for that if they had to do that?
The legal fees would probably be cheaper than the amount of gravel.
Yeah, because they're not gonna wanna do that.
I would pay the legal fees if they're willing to give up the legal right away. I would be very surprised if they all agreed to that.
But they may just do a written. Maybe a written agreement that does go legal.
Yeah, if it doesn't go legal, I would still want to put it in a road, because I have no guaranteed access at that
Right.
point.
Yeah,
If someone
so-
takes it them to sell and then they
Yeah.
go on their road, I didn't.
I was just telling her, we ran into that with our house. My driveway is not on Farren Hill Road, it's on Well Road, which is not owned by me.
What road?
well,
Okay.
that's technically it's
Yeah.
my neighbor's driveway, but it's over 900 feet, so it had to be a road. So nothing in my deed showed that I had a deeded access to my driveway. So I made sure that that was put in, because if he ever died, sells,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah,
literally they
sure,
could
sure.
put a fence across my driveway and I can't get in.
Yeah,
So,
and it's great right now, everybody's been tossing, everybody's local and in town, but all it
Yeah.
takes is one landowner to sell.
Yeah.
yep. No, I don't want you going through my property.
Right,
I can tell you, I wouldn't want someone going through my property.
now, especially Paul's place, I mean, he's got a deck on one side of the road, bed,
Right.
and the water on the other side, and they're walking back and forth, I mean, it's.
Yeah,
We try not to go in, when it's peak, afternoon time, because I don't wanna be driving through the middle of it while they're.
right.
Enjoying.
I don't blame you.
I walked through there one morning at 5:30 when they were sleeping in their camper, and I was really quiet, that my dog was quiet, thank God we waited all the way through, on the way back, his dog started yapping. I'm like, so sorry, didn't mean to wake you up.
So,
I'm looking, I was gonna say, looking at this, I mean, you do have measures in there to mitigate runoff. You have culverts that you're gonna put in at 100-foot intervals if needed.
Yeah.
Yes, the tail end of it is in the resource protected area, but you are 100 feet from the high water mark. You are correct, nowhere in the ordinance does it say you need an engineered plan for this stuff. So I'm going to motion to approve this permit for a private road from Staples Hill through tax map lots R01-56 and R01-56A to Mr. Jaws.
second,
All those in favor?
I said.
Okay, pass.
Anyone opposed? Okay. If you want to talk to the other people about a deeded access. I don't mind if you wanted to go that route, to even try to save you some money.
Yep.
But. I don't see any issue with this, providing you follow what you're gonna do.
Yep.
So that, and if it does become a problem,
That's it.
we have to address it and get it taken care of, so.
Yep.
Okay.
Jonathan.
Cool.
I'm considering, I won't say straight up, no. Like,
Yeah.
I need a little more. than-
Oh, honestly, so check with Danny.
So do we have?
There is no
written permit we have to
So
open?
that's using.
We
Visibility
can
isn't
draw, we
great,
can write.
probably be included in the future, but there is one. I just pull out going downhill, so it's. Try
There's
to,
one there you can ignore.
yeah,
Now, is he giving you deeded access to the property?
I have it,
You already have it,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah, so that's covered.
Cause it was funny, I was talking about this with my wife. And you had mentioned, like, if you wanna ride the bikes down there, and I told her a bunch, it's not his property, you can't do that. That'd be like me giving you property to go ride on Brian's piece of land. So.
On the first round of the application, he had Malcolm Ray's signature for that right of way was on there.
Yes.
Just want to acknowledge that. So we'll actually write up a building permit for you tomorrow.
Okay,
Did that for you.
excellent. Do I have to come back, pick it up, or just email it over when we get it?
Probably scan and email it,
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
not a problem.
Okay,
Thank you very much,
anything else
appreciate
for
it,
me?
I don't think so. Can I build trails in your,
No.
can I build trails in your backyard for mountain?
You
That
have
you
a
should
hard
do.
time, right?
No, I know. Yeah,
Yeah, the kids lost some four-wheeler trails in that process, but I'll get back and.
Yeah. well, my son and Hunter that lives on the corner, they hiked up, followed that little stream.
Yep.
And
Yeah, how far did they get? Cause Dawn texted me, she's like, the
They-
girls just said two men walked down the driveway, they don't know what she was all.
yeah, so I gave him hell for it after. He wound up coming out like at your house.
They went on quite a ways.
They went up all the way and then they didn't know which way to go. So Chase is like, oh, there's the house. So he went to the house, walked down your driveway
Yeah,
and then down one way.
Dawn was very thankful that Aaron sent her a message, she goes, she had no idea who it was, and also these two people appeared in the driveway looking down. The girls didn't, Dawn was doing something, they
Yeah.
just didn't see him until they were just walking over the crest of the driveway, so they saw him and they were gone, and they're like,
Yeah,
what's that?
so,
And 2 times we had people come to our
Sorry.
property that started fires. both times.
Down on the lake property.
Well, one's that backyard on the
Yeah,
uphill
yeah.
side and one's on the downhill side.
That's nice.
It is.
Yeah, so. You can go
Cool.
down by the if you'd like.
Okay.
I can give you access to that.
All right.
Thank you, appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Have a good night.
All right, so let's, Stephen is here for his solar application.
Okay.
He's looking for. Where's the email on that? I'll open that first and then do that.
Here's the.
I thought I printed out his most recent email. I may not print that out, but we should all have it. Make sure he's. Mr. Jarrett, oh, there you are. Okay, we can see you now.
Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening.
Right, good evening.
So yeah, I mean, I was hoping to discuss the letter I sent dated July 11th and get some feedback from the board as far as whether or not our project could be reviewed under the solar ordinance for the 1 megawatt AC project that would still fit under the 6 acre maximum threshold for a medium scale solar project under the ordinance. And I can summarize, the letter if that's helpful.
That would be great.
You have a copy of it?
I thought it would be.
It is in your email.
Should be.
Hold on, look at that, because I was just. looking at it.
And I know I printed it. I might have left that one on the printer.
Just let me know when you're ready.
The part of the agenda, I think.
Yep, go right ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
I can forward it to, I can
So-
forward it to you.
So the letter requests that instead of a variance, which our initial application was made, that we request that the solar project application be reviewed under the solar ordinance to permit the 1 megawatt AC solar project under the medium size category. And basically, after reviewing the solar ordinance a little bit more closely, after we filed and after some initial discussions with the board and with the Board of Selectmen, we discovered that under the definition for a solar energy system medium scale, it says, and I can read it, a solar energy system whose physical size based on total airspace projected over the ground is equal to or greater than 0.5 acres, but less than 6 acres. And then it says, and or that generates a nameplate capacity of up to, but not including 1 megawatt. The 1 megawatt definition, as we've discussed before, is 1 megawatt DC. So basically that definition, because it says and or, if the board were to determine that it could review the project under the or part of that, then it would be less than 6 acres or generates a nameplate capacity of up to 1 megawatt DC. And in that instance, our application could be reviewed because it is under 6 acres. So it's either 6 acres or 1 megawatt DC. We would be 6 acres, but at 1 megawatt AC. And then I summarize a little bit under the ordinance section 2 purpose, just to, I'm not sure how the board would decide whether or not to interpret or to select to implement the ordinance under 6 acres and 1 megawatt DC, or 6 acres or 1 megawatt DC. And the purpose of the ordinance gives a number of reasons that the ordinance is in place. And some of it is just procedural. There's one about decommissioning, and then one about supporting the goals and policies of the comprehensive plan, which I don't think any of those are of issue. We can, we provided a decommissioning plan, the review process, we're following. And we think that, whether the project is 1 megawatt AC or DC, it still would support the goals of the policy. But there's two sections under purpose where we think that the area is more relevant than the capacity of the project. The first one is permit the town of fairly and responsibly, permit the town to fairly and responsibly protect public health, safety, and welfare. So it's kind of a broad purpose, but an important one. And then another one that says minimize potential adverse effects of solar development on surrounding land uses. I guess the key point is that it's difficult, and actually the ordinance doesn't provide the planning board with any information that's required of the developer to submit in the application that can be used to determine if 1 megawatt AC or 1 megawatt DC makes a difference under those two subsection purpose lists. The exception to that is the noise, which is related to the capacity, but the inverter, which is the part of the system that that emits some noise, and we provided data on noise in the application. It'll be the same inverter, whether or not it's 1 megawatt AC or 1 megawatt DC. However, the area of the project does have an effect. So the fact that it's 6 acres, we're actually proposing 5.45 acres or 8 acres. That would have would be something that would be noticeable or measurable, either for protecting public health, safety, and welfare. Again, that's a really broad protection, but again, important. But I guess someone could conceivably see the system and, suggest that it has some change in health, safety, and welfare. And in particular, the potential adverse effects on surrounding land uses that could be seen as different between, being, again, 5 acres or 7 acres on either side of the threshold. So I think that the or part of the definition for medium scale can be used by the planning board to consider this application. And the fact that we are staying under the 6 acre threshold, which is one of the two options, is more critical than if we're 1 megawatt AC or 1 megawatt DC. That really can't be determined whether or not it one of those designs meets the purpose of the ordinance or does not meet the purpose. So that's kind of a summary, and I'm happy to take any questions that you might have.
Is the nameplate changing then to be under 1 megawatt DC?
No, it's not. It's 1 megawatt AC.
So by going 1 megawatt AC, has the project been reduced in size?
No, it's still under 6 acres.
Okay, so what has changed now to have a nameplate rating in AC of 1 megawatt?
Well, I guess what I'm saying is that the definition of the ordinance gives you the option to review a project that is under 6 acres and over 1 megawatt DC. It
So
gives the board that option.
I interpret the and or as you need both. You can't be, and what that means is half acre to 6 acres. And or can't be one has to be 1 megawatt or less. Same thing with the larger scale ones. So we have a large scale being 6 to 30 acres. With the and or of 1 megawatt to 5 megawatts. So if you were 6 acres and you were 5 megawatts, you're considered a large scale. If you're 6 acres and 1 megawatt, you are still considered a large scale. So you, even though your megawatts are over that, if nothing is changing, because before your AC rating was 1.3. Now you're saying it's 1 or under 1, but but nothing has changed. So I guess I'm confused as to that. But I still look at it as it's and or, meaning you need both. Because we didn't, so, if you had one, granted, we have the 6 acres on both of them, but a 6 acre parcel at 1 megawatt constitutes a large scale. If it's 1 megawatt, 6 acres, and it says capacity nameplate up to, but not including 1 megawatt. So if you're 999 megawatts and you're 6 acres, then you're small scale. So what you are actually asking for, because of your megawatt being 1 megawatt, you're asking for a large scale based off of that.
Correct.
I see it differently.
Okay,
Because in legal writing, the and or it should not typically be in there, but it passed all of our legal reviews. But because it's exactly what he's saying, it is ambiguous.
Mhm.
So and means both things, or means you can choose one or the other in legal writing. So it is ambiguous. And that's probably an error. We should probably look at all our ordinances for those kinds of words. I
Okay.
think the intent of the ordinance was to keep the sizes small.
Mhm.
And I don't know that if it was 5 megawatts and it was still under 6 acres, anybody would care, because I think it was really the size that people didn't want big. The citizenry that showed up at the meetings and the people that were there drafting that didn't want big solar farms. So by keeping it small geographically, I believe that was the intent.
So not big land area masses of.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Mhm.
And so I don't know that anybody, except for a couple people at those meetings, understood really, I mean,
Okay, no, I
0.8 versus 1.0 or 1.0 versus 1.3. I don't think anybody
So-
knows the implications of that other than geographic size.
So it meets the criteria of acreage size.
Yeah.
correct,
Right.
but it doesn't meet the criteria for,
Right,
The
so I'm
megawatts.
just gonna determine the and or.
Correct.
also, so you had a question?
I give multiple. I agree with Diane on the size thing. But according to the ordinance as it's written, this falls under the large category, which the ordinance also states we have the one large one that is allowed per the ordinance. So regardless of and or, it's large, we've got it already. Number two, they've already asked for a variance. The select board sent it to the appeals board. I don't know legality wise whether you can disregard that because we've already taken that step. That to me needs to be determined
Okay.
before anything.
Mhm.
I mean, cause we do have an appeals board, we now have 3 members, so. That's the process.
Okay.
Can you disregard the process? So that would be my main concern.
Oh, good to know you got that in place. Great. So
Right,
I just want to say, I was at those meetings and I don't care if it's the physical geographical size or the amount of power they're putting out. To me, we have our large one. I
right,
don't think we wanted anything else large. That's why the ordinance was crafted, and that's why people approved it, was regardless of size of geographic or power size, they only wanted one. And it was a pretty overwhelming vote at town meeting that they didn't want any more large than what we already had,
Right,
so.
That being said, I have absolutely nothing against this application, but if we're gonna have ordinances, we need to follow them.
And that's my
And
thing,
if we have processes, we need to follow them.
right, I just wanna make sure we're staying by what the town voted on for not having anything like that size, that's all.
I mean, and the other thing is, it does say a medium scale up to, but not including 1 megawatt. He's asking for, you guys are asking for 1 megawatt. Which constitutes a large scale regardless of size in acreage. So the way that I look at it, you've got you have. Other than if we go to appeals, the other option would be to reduce the sizing of it so that it meets the less than 1 megawatt power output, which I know may not be ideal for you guys, may not make the project work, I'm not sure. But right now, we do have our one large scale per our ordinance. And again, I'm looking at, I see what you're talking about with the and or. I did consult a couple of legal people as well. Not our legal team, other ones. And when I told them the and or, that was like that usually means both. You need your size and you need the megawatts and or. So that's what I was told. And the other thing, so your nameplate that you're gonna be putting on the project needs to be in DC ratings based off of what our definitions are per our ordinance. So I'm still thinking we need to go the process. If you guys are asking for a variance, the appeals process is in place. I think we need to go that route and see what the appeals board says. Cause again, we can only go off of what we've written for the ordinance. With the exception of Dawn, the other two members that were on the board helped write this ordinance. So we know the verbiage that we wanted when we put in here, and it was. I know for me, it was for both. The acreage needed to be a certain size and the power output needed to be a certain size. So.
All right. So what, when is the appeals board assembling?
We just got the third one today, so they're.
We'll officially appoint them next week.
Yeah,
Okay,
All right, well, thank you for hearing me and we will follow your direction.
Okay, thank you very much.
thank you for your patience.
Thank you.
cool. We can certainly stop there, or we can catch up on other stuff next time.
I'm okay with adjourning.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can the minutes that you approve tonight
Yeah.
as a board be
Mhm.
sent to the office tonight or to the tomorrow
Yeah.
morning?
Yeah.
To get,
Good.
try to streamline that process.
Sure, absolutely.
So it's already gone to the appeals board?
No,
No.
he hasn't filed an appeal.
No,
He has to file for an appeal?
Yes, he had to request an appeal
Is he understand?
formally. Yeah, I think he does.
Okay. Cause you said I'll follow your lead.
right, but we have to officially appoint the appeals board, the ones that have filled out apps, so we have to officially appoint them next week. Cause right now they can't officially meet.
Mm.
I don't like the word official.
So I will make a motion to adjourn at 7:03.
Second it.
Dawn seconds, all those in favor? Meeting adjourned. Let me stop.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.